In the quiet movement of life, many people ask why some hearts remain peaceful, while others stay restless even after gaining wealth, praise, and success. They search everywhere for abundance, but they forget to look within themselves. The universe does not hurry. The rivers do not rush to the ocean, yet they always arrive. The tree does not force its fruit to grow, yet the season of harvest always comes. In the same way, true abundance enters the life of the patient soul. A person who is impatient digs many shallow wells and finds no water. A patient person digs deeply in one place and discovers a hidden spring. This is the first secret of spiritual abundance. Patience creates depth. When the mind stops chasing every distraction, wisdom begins to grow silently. Most people abandon their path because results do not appear quickly. They plant seeds in the morning and become angry by evening because nothing has bloomed. But every meaningful blessing grows in silence before it becomes visible. The second secret is trust in unseen timing. There are moments when life feels empty, delayed, or uncertain. During these seasons, many people lose faith in themselves. Yet the universe often prepares the greatest transformation in invisible ways. The seed beneath the soil may appear lifeless, but inside it a miracle is unfolding. The patient person understands that delay is not punishment. Sometimes life removes distractions, weak desires, and false paths before opening the correct door. A calm heart can wait because it knows that what belongs to it cannot be stolen. The third secret is the power of stillness. A lake becomes clear only when it is undisturbed. In the same way, the human mind gains clarity through silence. People often seek abundance through endless noise, competition, and comparison. But spiritual abundance enters quietly. It visits the person who can sit peacefully with themselves. In silence, hidden fears rise to the surface and disappear. In silence, gratitude becomes stronger than desire. A restless mind attracts confusion, but a peaceful mind attracts wisdom, opportunities, and meaningful connections. The universe speaks softly, and only the still heart can hear it. The fourth secret is compassionate giving. Many believe abundance begins by receiving, but true abundance begins by giving. The patient soul gives kindness without demanding reward. It offers forgiveness without counting the pain. It shares encouragement without expecting praise. The universe responds naturally to such energy. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. In fact, the room becomes brighter for everyone. Spiritual abundance flows toward those who create peace in the lives of others. The generous heart never remains empty for long because life trusts those who do not cling tightly to what they have. The fifth secret is detachment from outcomes. This does not mean abandoning dreams. It means releasing fear, desperation, and control. A bird flies freely because it does not carry the weight of chains. Many people suffer not because they lack blessings, but because they are attached to specific results. They tell life exactly how and when happiness must arrive. When reality changes, they become bitter. But the patient soul understands that life often delivers wisdom in unexpected forms. Sometimes closed doors protect us from unseen suffering. Sometimes loss creates space for greater peace. When attachment disappears, suffering becomes lighter and abundance flows naturally. The universe rewards the patient because patience transforms the person waiting. It purifies desire, strengthens faith, and softens the ego. The impatient person demands immediate answers, but the patient person becomes wise enough to understand the deeper questions. Spiritual abundance is not merely money or possessions. It is the ability to sleep peacefully, smile sincerely, love deeply, and remain calm during storms. It is freedom from constant craving. Look at nature carefully. The moon does not compete with the sun. The flowers do not compare themselves with the mountains. Everything blooms according to its season. Human suffering often begins when people try to force life to move faster than wisdom allows. Yet peace arrives when one learns to trust the rhythm of existence. If you wish to receive the hidden treasures of life, do not run after every desire. Slow your steps. Breathe with awareness. Speak with kindness. Wait without fear. Give without calculation. Accept without resistance. The universe has always rewarded those who walk. Certain opportunities require a prepared mind, a steady heart, and a matured spirit. If they arrive too early, they may be misused or misunderstood. Therefore, life often withholds what is not yet aligned with readiness. This is not punishment, it is protection shaped by intelligence beyond human awareness. When a person learns to trust unseen timing, their relationship with life begins to change. Anxiety slowly loses its grip because control is no longer the center of existence. Instead of forcing outcomes, there is acceptance of process. This acceptance does not remove effort, it refines it. Actions become more focused, less desperate, and more aligned with inner clarity. Work is no longer driven by fear of lack, but by calm participation in growth. In nature, everything follows its rhythm without resistance. Night does not rush to become day, and seasons do not overlap out of impatience. Each phase completes itself fully before the next begins. Human life is no different, yet the mind often tries to escape its current phase. It wants harvest without planting, success without struggle, and peace without understanding. Trust in unseen timing teaches that every phase has purpose, even the uncomfortable ones. There is also a hidden strength developed through waiting. It is the strength of emotional balance. When a person repeatedly faces delay but continues to remain steady, they begin to detach from panic-driven decisions. They become less reactive and more observant. This calm awareness allows better choices to emerge naturally. Instead of forcing doors open, they begin to recognize which doors are meant for them and which are not. Over time, trust replaces fear. The heart begins to understand that life has never truly been against it, even in difficult moments. What once felt like loss may later reveal itself as redirection. What once felt like silence may later be understood as preparation for something greater. This shift in perception transforms suffering into patience and patience into inner abundance. In this way, unseen timing becomes a silent teacher. It reshapes the inner world of a person until they no longer demand life to move faster than wisdom allows. Instead, they walk with it, trusting that every step, whether visible or hidden, is part of a larger unfolding that always arrives at the right moment. Stillness brings clarity and peace. A quiet and peaceful mind attracts wisdom, emotional balance, and meaningful opportunities more than a restless and noisy life. Stillness is one of the most overlooked doors to spiritual abundance, because the modern mind has been trained to believe that movement equals progress. People are constantly encouraged to do more, speak more, achieve more, and compare more. In this constant motion, the inner world becomes noisy, and in noise, clarity is easily lost. Yet stillness is not emptiness. It is not inactivity or withdrawal from life. It is the conscious ability to remain present without being pulled in every direction by thoughts, fears, or desires. When the mind is restless, it behaves like disturbed water. Everything reflected in it becomes distorted. Decisions made in such a state often come from confusion rather than wisdom. Many mistakes in life are not caused by lack of intelligence, but by lack of inner quiet. A person who cannot pause within themselves reacts instead of responding, rushes instead of observing, and assumes instead of understanding. Stillness corrects this inner imbalance. It allows the surface of the mind to settle so that truth can be seen clearly. In moments of genuine stillness, something subtle begins to change. Thoughts slow down, not because they are forced, but because they are no longer fed by constant attention. Emotions become less chaotic. Even problems that once felt overwhelming begin to lose their weight. This does not mean challenges disappear, it means perception shifts. The same situation is seen with greater clarity and less fear. From this clarity, better understanding naturally arises. Stillness also reveals what constant activity hides. Many people avoid silence because silence brings awareness of what they have been ignoring within themselves. In the absence of it is not about the size of what is offered, but the purity behind it. A small act given with sincerity carries more power than a large act done with expectation. Over time, a generous heart becomes naturally fulfilled, not because it receives in return, but because it no longer feels separate from the flow of life itself. Detach from outcomes to end suffering. Releasing fear, control, and desperation allows life to flow naturally, bringing peace, freedom, and deeper spiritual fulfillment. Detachment from outcomes is one of the most delicate yet powerful qualities a person can cultivate on the path to spiritual abundance. At first glance, it may seem like detachment means giving up dreams or no longer caring about what happens in life. But this is a misunderstanding. True detachment does not remove intention, it removes suffering. It does not weaken action, it purifies motivation. A person still moves forward, still works, still builds, still loves, but without being chained to rigid expectations about how life must respond. Much of human suffering is born not from experience itself, but from resistance to how experience unfolds. People imagine a specific version of success, love, or fulfillment, and when reality does not match that image exactly, disappointment arises. The mind then begins to struggle against what is already happening, creating inner conflict. This conflict drains energy and clouds perception. Detachment gently dissolves this struggle. It allows life to be seen as it is, rather than as it is demanded to be. When attachment to outcomes is strong, even small obstacles feel like failures. A delay becomes a disaster. A change in direction feels like loss. But life is constantly moving in patterns that are far more complex than individual understanding can fully grasp. What appears as rejection may be redirection. What feels like loss may be protection. What seems like an ending may be the beginning of a deeper alignment. Detachment creates the inner space to accept this unfolding without panic. A detached mind is not indifferent, it is clear. It engages fully with effort but remains flexible with results. It plants seeds with care but does not try to force the exact moment of harvest. This quality brings a deep sense of peace, because happiness is no longer dependent on external certainty. Instead, stability comes from within. Even in changing circumstances, the inner state remains steady. Attachment often creates fear. When a person becomes too fixated on a specific outcome, they begin to worry constantly about losing it or not achieving it. This fear narrows perception. It makes the mind reactive and restless. Decisions are then made from anxiety rather than wisdom. Detachment removes this pressure. It allows actions to arise from clarity instead of desperation. The mind becomes more open, more aware, and more capable of recognizing opportunities that do not always match initial expectations. There is also a quiet freedom that emerges when outcomes are no longer tightly controlled. Life begins to feel less like a battle and more like a flow. Effort still exists, but it is no longer accompanied by inattention. One can work sincerely without being mentally trapped by results. This balance creates resilience. Success does not inflate ego, and failure does not destroy inner peace. Nature itself reflects this truth. The wind does not insist on how trees should bend. Rivers do not demand a fixed path through the land. Everything adjusts, flows, and adapts while still fulfilling its nature. Similarly, when a human being learns to move with life instead of against it, suffering decreases and understanding deepens. Over time, detachment reveals a surprising realization. Peace was never hidden in outcomes. It was always available in the present moment, waiting beneath layers of expectation. When the grip on results loosens, life is experienced more directly. Joy becomes less fragile, contentment becomes less conditional, and even amid uncertainty, there is a quiet confidence that whatever unfolds is part of a larger wisdom that does not require constant control to function. In this way, Detachment from outcomes does not diminish life, it expands it. It transforms striving into presence, fear into trust, and resistance into flow.